The following is a presentation of the Mat Talk Podcast Network.
The mind of Pat Popolizio is a wondrous thing. And for you Pac Wrestling fans, you'll get to go inside the mind of the Skip each and every episode here on the Pac Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Now, here's your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt.
Welcome to the postseason, welcome to Mat Madness, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Pac Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, episode number 63. I'm your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt, and I'm joined once again by the head coach of the Wolfpack, Pat Popolizio.
Brian, always good to see you. Glad you're back from vacation. Nice to have you.
Pat, it's been a couple of weeks. Are you okay? What have you been up to?
Well, some people have to hit the road a little bit, while you're putting your feet up. Where'd you go? Nashville?
I wish. I don't get paid for this podcast, so I can't really go anywhere. But, where'd you go these last couple of weeks?
Well, I went to a place in Georgia to watch some good wrestling, and then went up to my old hometown to New York and watched one of our guys who's committed and signed win his fourth state title, Anthony Noto. So that was nice to see. You got OW, too. I
was going to say, a lot of our commits are doing really well in their high school tournaments. Yeah, we can
comment on them too, so.
We will comment on them, and we'll put out a press release as soon as all of them are done. PAs are, I believe, this weekend. So there's some more. We don't want to
There'll be another place. We'll be there for a long weekend, so it's good.
Okay. Well, we're going up to Pittsburgh this weekend. It's great. But a whole lot to cover in this episode. The ACC brackets are out. Fan anticipation for the 2020 ACC Championship to be held this weekend up in Pittsburgh. It's an all-time high. It's been a few weeks since we've done the podcast, but coming off of the end of the dual season, preparing to defend that ACC title you guys won last year, what has the response in the mat room been these last 2 weeks of practice?
I like it. I like where we're at. It was nice to have, some guys got to rest that last dual meet and heal up 100%. So that was our main focus, getting everybody to 100%, and then really zoning in on what we need to focus in on for the conference tournament as far as individuals and as a team. And the focus is razor sharp, as it should be. But I like where we're at with the mentality of this group because they've been there and done that, and that's what makes this team special.
I was going to say, as a coaching staff, did you guys like that extra week off before the ACCs, or did you come accustomed to getting in a routine and wrestling every weekend?
Yeah, routine would be good, but I think it is also nice for that extra week if you got to rest the guy up and get him 100% healthy. That's a good week to do that because it's a tough sport weighing in and wrestling every week. Everybody gets a little banged up, so you're going to see guys maybe wrestling the whole year with something now get close to healthy again and go out there and make a run for it.
Before we go weight by weight and preview the ACC Championship, let's rewind a bit and put a bow on the regular season. And last time we cut up, we talked about the electric atmosphere of that top 10 win over North Carolina Roans. Since that time, the Pac then defeated another top 10 conference opponent, Virginia Tech, and went on the road to take out Duke to end the season. That Virginia Tech duel, always close when the Pac and Hokies meet, and this time was no different. Great crowd in Reynolds once again. ACC Network was broadcasting it live, and it was just a pin fest. There were 3 pins on the night, and it's always a great rivalry between these two. And this time, a little bit of a different way to end it. It seems every year there's a different way, where Trombley, he sealed the win with the second to last match, but great way to close out the home schedule with the win over the Hokies. What did you think of the guys' performance?
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's always fireworks when both teams get together. Crazy to see 3 pins in that dual meet because I think when you see high-level matchups like that, you don't really see a lot of falls. You might see some bonus points here and there, but for 3 falls to happen in that dual meet, that was pretty wild. And, what I liked about that, on paper, the guys that were supposed to win really didn't come out on top. It was the guys who fought, and maybe people didn't expect those wins to happen that way, and that was on both sides. So it was definitely a good, exciting dual meet, and again, the energy was high in Reynolds, and people are going to come out and support anytime you got a good atmosphere and setting like we had. So we got to keep building on that, and next year do the same.
Depends who you bring in here.
We're working on it.
I know. I ask you every time. You dodge the question.
You'll see it when it comes out in September.
Yes, I am. You give me it the
Usually
day
around
before.
September 25th, our schedule comes out.
All right. Ooh, little bitterness there, but best giveaway day ever. Nick Wisdowski, bobblehead day. I know we crushed this giveaway. You know how I knew? I saw Nick in line getting some of his own bobbleheads.
That was good. I'm glad he had to do that because he was trying to get them before, and we made him get it there.
He
early.
was haggling.
I've never seen Nick at a dual meet so early. We're lucky we got him to come to one finally. But yeah, he was there in line with everybody.
It was great. But Nick got a couple of bobbleheads himself by going in his own line and getting his own bobblehead.
He deserved it. That was a good idea. Hats off for that idea, and we'll see if you can top it next year.
I was going to say, we got
some work to do.
One. Yeah. Ooh,
you got a year to think about it.
On to Duke. You're making me lose concentration here. 5th straight ACC dual win to cap the season. Over the last 3 seasons, NC State was 14-1 in ACC duels. 3rd straight year with the ACC regular season trophy at the end, the first time since 2000-2002 with 3 straight. And talk about the accomplishment of winning the ACC dual trophy for the 3rd straight season.
Yeah, it's just the body of work, in a very competitive conference right now. ACC is obviously growing fast with high-level competition, with great coaches and athletes all across the board. So it's turning into one of the premier conferences right now, and to be able to step up for these guys and get the wins like they've been doing in the dual meets is not an easy thing to do. That means you got to be on every week and obviously have depth and balance, because not every week are you going to get your 10 starters in there. And it's been a couple weeks where we had to wrestle some guys, and for them to step up as a team and get that, I think meant a lot. And, I still got my mind set that I think we got to focus more on the duels and the individual tournament. As far as building our sport, I think that's critical, and hopefully this is people see and take notice that you can build a fan base off the duels, and more teams are doing it across the country as you look around, seeing them sell out arenas. So I think we got to keep working on that, and they mean a lot. These duels do. I think a lot of school pride when it comes to it.
Aren't you the president, though? Can't you pass whatever rule you want?
Well, that's not how it works. The NCAA obviously has more say than NW. Those are
Can't
ideas.
Believe the president doesn't have the most power in this situation.
Well,
the reign of terror is coming to an end, too. Is that correct?
That is correct, August. So someone new hopefully can make that push and continue to grow. But, yeah, it would be nice. I think the movement's in the right direction, though.
All right. Well, thank you. The Duke win, it's also kept the first ever undefeated dual season in program history, and this program started in 1925. 15-0 this year, one of only 2 teams to go undefeated in dual action, and as you just said, there's a debate, duels versus tournaments, but with such great crowds in Reynolds this year, lots of attention on social media, tons of people watching the streams. How proud are you of this team? They went out there each and every time and got that team victory. Yeah,
and not an easy thing to do. That's as far as an individual and as a team to, finish the year without a loss. And you're the guy with the history book over here with stats. So it's good. I think it carries momentum, but more than anything, it's a reward for these guys for doing everything right that they can to continue to grow as people and athletes and do all the right things outside the room. And it's showing when they go out there to compete. And, what I like about duels, it's more of a team aspect. And I think if you have a good culture, you'll have a good team. And that's something we really focus in on. And I think that shows when we're out there competing in dual meets. The guys take a lot of pride in that. So we got to continue to move this in the right direction now as we focus in on individuals.
The last accolade we have to mention, a number 3 final ranking in the NWCA coaches poll, the second highest final ranking in school history. 5th straight year finishing in the top 10 in that final poll, and now 73 straight polls ranked in the top 10 overall. No doubt, this team, they have a target on their back every duel as their national rankings in front of NC State. And the ultimate judge of your season is the placement in these final 2 postseason tournaments. But to be ranked in the top 10 5 straight years, that's a heck of an accomplishment.
Yeah, it goes back to every guy that's come through here in the last several years. These guys have really put everything they could into continuing to build our program. There's been a lot of great support within the community. We got a great SID getting the word out there. So it's been a lot of positive things, but it's not one single person that's really driving the force. It's everybody as a team and a unit. And I think that's critical to building our fan base and following and I think that's most important here as we look past and all the things that have happened with individuals and as a team. I think the biggest thing we can say that we've been able to fill this arena up, and that's probably the biggest reward that you can get as far as an athlete and anybody associated with any program such as ours. So it means a lot to us. The guys really enjoy going out now, competing in Reynolds, and knowing that they got a backing. And even on the road, when we went up to Duke, there was still a pretty good fan base coming out, traveling for that dual meet.
I know some off-season, some discussions, might be moving some seating, get some fans even closer to that
Let's
action.
do it. I'm looking at a poster right now, and we got all that back seating right there we can fill up.
Hey, I got you the black seats on the side. It's your job to get more seats.
Right. I got to get on Josh. Josh Dalton, where are you at?
One more bit of team news. Redshirt junior Nick Reenan, he will not be in the lineup at 197 pounds at the ACC Championships, and that means his season will come to an end. Can you give us an update on Nick and the challenge that this past season presented to him?
Yeah, I think coming off last year's surgery, it's not an easy thing to come back. A little setback there with his knee. Got it just minor setback in the UVA duel, had it cleaned up. And is back on the mat now this week, and we're going to leave it in his hands where he wants to be. Still minor, slight chance if he, if he makes that decision that he feels he could wrestle at any given time. I think, maybe there's a chance. But right now, we're leaving everything in his hands to be the guy making the decision. He knows best. He knows his body. But I expect him when he's 100% healthy again. He's very dangerous, very good, and that's what we're focused in on right now is mentally and physically getting him back to 100% because I know he can do a lot of damage once he's there. And it hurts, when you lose one of your key players and a guy that can do some damage at the end of the year. It's a little bit of a setback, but more than anything, I like where our guys all have to step up now and show true character, and gives the opportunity for somebody new to make a name for themselves. So we're going to see it play out.
Let's get into it. The 2020 ACC Championship will be held this Sunday up in Pittsburgh. Action starts at 11 a.m. and the finals are going to be at 7. All action is going to be streamed on ACC Network Extra leading up to the finals, which will be televised on the ACC Network. And Pat, brackets came out. 7 of your 10 guys received a first-round bye into the semifinals, meaning they were a first or second seed. So all 10 guys that day, they go to the arena early, of course, because there's no sleeping in with wrestling. They get in.
And we lose an hour, just so you know. It's daylight savings time.
We do spring forward. I'm glad. I didn't know if I had to remind you about that or not.
I don't want you coming in there all swollen eye and everything.
But, the guys go over to the arena, get in a great workout. They have to weigh in. 3 guys will be in action in the first round, but the other 7 have some time before they step on the mat. What do you guys do with those 7 guys while they wait to wrestle?
Yeah, we'll get them out of the arena. It's a long day, so we'll probably, get there, weigh in, get out, get a nice hot meal, and then come back, get a great warm-up in, and get ready to go for that semifinal match. It's a small conference tournament, so, when you get that first round bye, you can make your path real easy by winning that first match, and that's what we got to be ready to go. It's going to be, obviously, a lot of good depth in the conference, so that first match is going to be critical.
When you were a wrestler, did you like having a bye, or would you rather just step on the mat and not have to wait around?
I guess anytime you can get a bye, I think it's a good thing. You can get a little more time to get a good warm-up in a little later in the day, but at the same time, that first-round match sometimes can really wake you up. But that's why you got to get a good warm-up in.
Okay. I got my warm-up in this morning. I did feel good.
Nice.
Kind of crashing now a little bit here in the afternoon.
Tell. I can see it in you.
It's a struggle bus. Seeds are always a hot debate. How do the seeds come about in the ACC?
Right now, coaches are voting in the ACC, so you got 6 coaches voting on where they think their athletes should play out. And there were a couple weights. I think we hit a couple, and that's something coming with the depth of the conference right now. I think 41, there was a triangle there where everybody kind of took a loss. 65, 2, 3 guys, right there neck and neck with each other. And, one set of us when we were out that week didn't get to wrestle head to head. And then 84 hit a triangle again. Those top 3 guys have a win and a loss to each other. So then it comes down to who they think, coaches think number 1 or 2 or 3 seats should be. And Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I think it's getting to that point where I don't know a better system to it. I know in the NCAA, when it comes down to the NCAA tournament, we're not allowed to vote and rank our wrestlers and seeding. So I think we got to just be consistent when it comes to that. That's my opinion to it. But in the meantime, we'll stay with what we need to do for seeding.
Do you guys rank your own guys, or do you just rank the other 5?
We rank every weight. So top 6, 1 through 6.
When do the SID rankings come out?
Yeah, I'm in. I'll put you down. I got you number 1.
I know you want to put me in that 6 seed.
You got some competition this year, so you got to defend your title. We'll see what the next 2 weeks bring out of you too.
Next 2 weeks is when we shine, Pat.
Yeah. All right,
let's break down these brackets. And because our fans demand it, we're going to start at 125. And I didn't really write anything down. We're just going to try to wing it over here. But
let's talk about it.
Redshirt freshman Jacob Camacho got the 2 seed at 125. 4-1 in ACC duels. He had a very close loss to Mueller, and then he won 4 straight. And he's going to be facing Melendez from UNC in that actually in the semifinals, because Duke is going to forfeit. So he goes right in the semifinals. Yep. UNC, NC State, first bout, 125. Mueller sitting at the top of that bracket. What do you think of 125?
I think, that obviously Mueller's the guy to beat in that weight right now. We know that. And what I do like about Camacho is he's wrestling his best he has all year, kind of where he was at during his redshirt year, being aggressive and wrestling a hard 7 minutes. So I like our chances there. That's one of those matches, again, we get a rematch of a kid that you wrestled a couple weeks back. So we got to make our adjustments just like they will and leave it all on the map. But, yeah, I think we got 3 qualified for that.
3 qualifiers at 125.
And obviously those 3 guys right there are all very competitive and very good. So it's going to be a good weight class to watch from semis on.
Up at 133, 5 NCAA qualifiers, and I wanted to ask you too, 133, 157, 285, 5 NCAA qualifications. That's just very impressive with a 16-team league.
Yes. Good depth. I think if you do the numbers, which we've looked at percentage-wise, ACC's got the highest percentage out for qualifiers. So that gives you good quality matches when you're in there competing against each other. So, 33 is going to be a barn burner weight class.
Well, hold on. You're jumping ahead.
All right. I like to sometimes take the lead here.
Okay. Well, hold on. I got to complain about my qualifiers for 141.
All right. We'll get to that, too.
That's next.
You hold on to that.
133, 5 qualifiers. 5 guys are in the coaches' rankings. Redshirt freshman Jarrett Trombley, he's going to be the 3 seed. He'll start off against Duke's Harrison Campbell. And I think 33... You have Filippi up at Pitt. He went undefeated, but then it seems all these other guys got wins over each other. Another jumbled weight class. This is really going to play out here once we get to the semifinals.
Yeah, it's going to be a war. All guys are very good, very competitive, neck and neck with each other. And, we have an opportunity to wrestle somebody that we've scored a lot of points against in the first match, and you can't take anything for granted. We got to be ready to go and not look past that. Obviously, and we want to get a rematch against somebody that we felt, we could score points on, and we didn't. And know the kid's a really good competitor, but I'm excited to see how Trombley responds to that loss that he had a couple weeks back, and see if he can make those adjustments that we've talked about and go out there and do what he says he's going to do. I know he's a gamer, and that's one of those matches I'd look forward to watching, because I think there's going to be a lot of good action with 2 really high-level wrestlers.
I hope you watch all the matches as the head coach.
Well, go back and watch again. I know you don't. You only want to watch the highlights, but I got to go back and watch the detailed highlights.
All right. 141, 3 qualifiers. I thought it should have got 4, my humbled opinion. I loved your term, the triangle. Tariq Wilson, he's the top seed.
Yep.
But then you have Zach Sherman of UNC, Mitch Moore of Virginia Tech. They all beat each other, all went 1-1. All guys within the top 15 nationally. Don't want to forget about Cole Matthews there of Pitt. He's a top 25 guy, too.
Yeah.
So the semifinals is going to be tough. And 141, it's pretty wide open. But Tariq Wilson, he made the finals last year. How much does he want an ACC title this season?
I think, he knows it's his time to go out and get it. He's got to step his game up, because these guys are all gunning for him. And biggest thing with him is just being ready to compete. I do like the progression we've made second semester and focusing in on a lot of different things. And you can tell when he goes out on the mat, he's at least focused in and 7 minutes right now putting together. He had the one setback in the one match. It was, one big move, but I'm excited to watch that weight class play out because I know all those guys are high-level guys, and when the lights are on, I think, it's one thing for Tariq. He steps up his game in competition, so I think you're going to see some of the best wrestling out of Tariq over the next month.
Up at 149, 2 qualifiers. AJ Lighton, 33 in the final coaches poll. He was right on that border. So he's going to have to wrestle up if he wants to get an NCAA bid here. Austin O'Connor's at the top of the bracket from UNC. He's third nationally. AJ, if he gets past his first opponent in the semifinals, he's got Andonian of Virginia Tech. A rematch from the regular duel. I know AJ would look forward to that one. How do you see 149 playing out?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. He's got to obviously get that first match under his belt and score those points he was capable of doing a couple weeks back, not look past that, and then we are hopeful to have that rematch because I know he was disappointed in the way that he performed, and it's a kid that's really good and does a lot of unique things. So I'd like to see us step up there and compete at a much higher level and at least put ourselves in the position to win that match, and I know we're capable of doing that. AJ knows he is, and that's one of those matches you got nothing to lose. You can let it all fly. There's going to be, a little different situation than a dual meet, so I think you're going to see some different wrestling and a different scoring. I don't expect it to go the way it was before, but that's why we go out there and wrestle and see where we can make our adjustments and at least give ourselves a chance there in that match and let it play out.
You said different wrestling. I know anytime a guy steps on the mat, he wants to win, but is there different philosophies from going from a duel, trying to get your team points, or trying to avoid a bonus point, or a tournament where you need to win to advance?
100%. I think guys wrestle a lot different when it comes to dual meets. I mean, I know it's still wrestling, but I think you see individuals that can, I guess, mentally and physically prepare in a different way when it comes to tournament, and it's just you're not going, there's no momentum in a dual meet. And as an individual tournament, you control your own success. You're wrestling for yourself, but at the same time, those points matter for a team. So you will see some different guys wrestle on a different level when it comes to individuals instead of a dual meet aspect.
157, 5 qualifiers, 5 guys ranked in the top 25. Obviously, the top seed, Hayden Hiley, going for a 3rd straight ACC title. Only 10 NC State wrestlers have accomplished that feat before. And the other 4 wrestlers that are ranked in this weight class all grouped together. They all have knocked each other out. It's going to be a real barn burner again. Hayden has faced all of these guys multiple times. What's his mindset going into these ACCs?
Yeah, I think he just needs to focus in on himself and what he does best. There is obviously great competition at that weight when you got 5 guys qualified. He just needs to show up, be ready to compete, and be aggressive like he always is, and wrestle a very high-paced match and take one match at a time, and that's what makes him great. One thing I like about him is I think as you see March come around, you see the best wrestling out of Hayden, and that's what you're going to see this weekend and come NCAAs. He's ready to go. He looks phenomenal in the room. His training is just everything about him is really focused right now.
I think the guys at 184 might fight this comment, but 165 might be the top weight class here in the ACC. 4 guys ranked, 4 guys in the top 12 nationally. A 3-time All-American is the 3rd seed. We're going to have Thomas Bullard. He is the 2nd seed sitting down there. He reached the finals last year too, so just like Tariq, he wants to get that ACC title, but he's going to have to go through some real good competition if he wants to get that ACC championship.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You know, 4 guys ranked in the top 12 right there. That's a fun weight class. You're going to see good matches there all day. So that's one, someone's going to step up in that group right there to take that weight class right now. You got to bring your A game because those guys all can compete at a high level, and we're ready. I think we've seen our best wrestling. We're back to 100% and confident. So we got to do what we've been doing. Just go out, wrestle, and leave it on the line.
I was going to say, we didn't see either Bullard brother at Duke. Both responded well in practice, both ready to go 100%.
Yeah, they've been in there training last week, really good, and just it was best to just make sure we were being cautious on some things and make sure we're back to 100%, which we are.
Up at 174, 4 NCAA qualifiers, 5 guys ranked in the coaches panel, so one guy might not get that bid, but the other Bullard, Daniel, he is also the second seed, and this was a good weight class. I think very evenly matched throughout. You have guys ranked 12 to 25. He actually lost to the top seed, Harvey. I know that wouldn't be into the finals, but I know Bullard's looking forward to going out there and trying to claim an ACC title as well.
Yeah, another weight class where you got some nationally ranked guys, and got to use that to your advantage, some of the experiences that he has, and, got to take one match at a time, get to that semi-match, kid that we haven't wrestled yet this year, and go out, do what we do best, and stay aggressive. But, yeah, there are obviously some good guys across the board in that weight, and, you want to wrestle to get that rematch. So that's something I know in the back of Daniel's mind that he's looking forward to, but not overlooking anything.
184, 3 qualifiers. How about this? The top 3 seeds are ranked in the top 6 in the nation. Hunter Boland, number 2 in the nation, is the top seed. Trent Hidley, number 3 in the nation, is the second seed. Then you have Nino Bonacorsi. He is 6th in the country in the 3rd seed. So this is going to be a real gauntlet of a weight class. The ACC champion, they have a pretty legitimate shot of being the top seed for the NCAA tournament here.
I think you're right. I think that's the key here. A guy who wins this weight class, I think, could be in the driver's seat to get the number 1 seed at NCAAs. And I think these guys are all pushing each other to get better. There's really high-level competition with those 3 guys right now, and they are pushing each other. And that's what's going to make, I think that's what's going to make everybody good. And I know we're zoned in on what we know we need to do. Trent's a competitor, and he's a winner. He's obviously knows he's got a good semifinal match. He's got to be ready to go, and he also wants to try to get a rematch on somebody who wrestled back a couple weeks. So it's one of those, again, you can't overlook anything. We got to be ready to go in that semi-match because that could be a semifinal match at NCAAs, any one of those guys, depending on how the brackets play out. But I project those 3 guys, regardless of how this tournament ends. I think you're going to see those guys in the top 8 at NCAAs, seeding and probably bringing home All-American status, competing to win a national title. But we need that. That's something we haven't had at every weight in the conference, to get that 2 weeks out, really sharpening you up, getting you ready. I think if you go back and you look when Machiavello won the NCAAs and both those guys were in the national finals, they made each other better and got that rematch in the NCAA finals. And that's what you see in conferences that have the depth. They get those guys ready, whether they win or lose in the conference. It makes them that much better 2 weeks later, and that's what you're going to see at 84. It's going to make all these guys rise to the next level of competition.
Would Mock and Hout, would they still be in overtime if we were sitting here today?
Yeah, both, definitely. They both look like obviously Mock can still. Mock's a little big. I don't think Mock can make 97 anymore though. I saw him in the weight room the other day, and I was asking if he was going up to heavyweight.
197, 1 NCAA qualifier, J.I.L.O. of UVA. He's the top seed, went a perfect 5-0. You guys had to make the change. Tyree Houghton's in here. You actually sent Tyree. He went up to the NCO last weekend, lost his first bout, but then won 5 in a row. What did you see from Tyree last week to prepare him for his first ACC championship?
Yeah, it's mat time for him. It was also for us to see make sure we're putting the right guy out there. Want to give everybody a fair shake at it. And let all those guys kind of wrestle it out. And they did. They went head-to-head a couple times. But I think the one thing you get with Tyree is fight. He's never going to quit on you, and he's going to try his hardest. And he just needs experience and mat time. And, every week that he gets that, he gets better. So looking for him to go out there and compete. He has the ability to beat anybody at any given time, and that's one. He's got nothing to lose. There's no pressure on him other than to go out and wrestle and score some points for this team.
285, the final weight class with 5 qualifiers. You have Thomas at Pitt. He's the top seed. But then I think your other 4 guys that are all ranked, they're all grouped up. Everyone is beating each other. Deontay Wilson, very good ACC year. He went 4-1. He's got a lot of guys, when he wrestles them in this one, they're going to be looking for revenge on Deontay, where he wanted to get revenge on their win. So a little bit of a change for Deontay here going into this year's ACCs.
Yeah, and no better time to be confident than now, and that's what you've seen out of Deontay. There's no secrets. He's the most improved wrestler on our team right now by far. He's made huge jumps in a very short period of time, and that goes just to show you the focus and the commitment that he has. It also shows you, he's got one of the best guys in the world here training in our RTC who he utilizes as a resource. Those guys have helped each other. Obviously, Nick can be a great mentor for him. The big guys, we'll call those. It's one, we got to be ready to go out, ready to compete, but I know it's night and day difference from when we started the season to where we're at now. And I look forward to watching him compete across the country with all these guys coming up in the next couple weeks.
This year's a little different. You guys are defending that title, but 5 guys are going to be making their first trip. As a coach, do you sense a little more of excitement? There's some new guys going up there, and just a little different change than you guys had recently. Yeah,
the energy is definitely different in a positive way. The focus and just the upbeat excitement. These guys, they like to compete. That's one thing I do know about these guys. Sometimes some kids can get a little nervous when it comes to competition. These guys embrace it. I think the higher level competition it is, the more you're going to see these guys rise to the occasion. So it is. It would be exciting to watch these guys put it on the line. But we talked about it the other day. The majority of these guys going to the ACC's been wrestling since they were 5 years old, minus maybe one of them. So they're used to competing at a high level their whole life, and now it's time to let things go and let it shine.
Pat, that was a great ACC Championship preview. I don't think we could have done it any better than if I would have spent my 2 hours doing all the notes.
No, so I'm glad you got X's and O's literally on your piece of paper.
We got it. We got it squared away. But looking forward, ACC Championship, I'll get you out here on this one, Pat. NC State travels very well. How important is it to see another good sea of red in those stands up at Pitt on Sunday?
It means a lot. That's something we've taken a lot of pride at as a program, is to build our fan base and to get true fans. And we see more and more people traveling on the road. It's a great time. Good people associated with NC State wrestling. And I'll tell you what, if you ever get hungry and we're at some of these tournaments, just go out in the parking lot because our fans can cook pretty well.
And that food doesn't make it inside to us, but it stays outside.
You can sneak. I know you got a lot of downtime for these tournaments.
Pat, good luck to you. Really looking forward to this weekend. This ACC Championship, it's really shaping up to be one of the best in many years here.
Yeah, you got 4 teams ranked in the top 10 right now, so that's going to be high-level wrestling excitement. Every match is going to matter, and looking forward to the challenge that lies ahead.
I want to thank everybody for listening today. This is your Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast covering all things NC State wrestling. Until next time, Wolfpack wrestling fans, go Pack.
The Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast is produced by the Mat Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, go to MatTalkOnline.com.